How's it going? Welcome back. This is the last stretch of the race before May. And next thing you know, boom, off to the summertime. Now it's funny, thinking about this reading, I don't know if you picked up on it. I chose the shorter version today rather than the longer one, but it still gets the heart of it, the message. Father Joachim and I, we sometimes sit down and compare, like, hey, what are you going to preach about? And we're sitting just kind of on Saturday night, like, talking. And I told him what I was going to preach about, and it's funny because he'll start laughing about things that he thinks are really funny that I don't think are that funny, but he just keeps laughing. And his homily, he emphasized, he's like, do you ever notice that, like, the guy's blind, and Jesus decides to, like, spit on some dirt and, like, make him more blind, and then, like, hey, blind guy with dirt in your eyes, go, like, find this pool and wash. And I'm like, yeah, sure, but Joachim's like, yeah, like, the blind guy's just, like, wandering around, like, playing, like, Red Rover, like, where is this? Anyway, he thought it was funny. I didn't think it was that funny. I was thinking more of today, well, one, we get to wear this fun color, which, of course, we say is rose, not pink, rose. And this is one of 2 days throughout the year that we wear, the priest wears rose. One is in the middle of Advent, and the other is in the middle of Lent, which is today. So right now, we're in the middle of Lent. It's kind of that point where Lent's exhausting. We're like, oh, we still doing this? Am I still doing all the things? Why does the priest wear rose? It's because, well, I think that the one thing that the world wants the most to see from Christians isn't necessarily love. They're pretty sold that love is good, even if their version of it or whatever version of love people have is kind of confused. I think that people also kind of have their own faith for the most part. You even need to have faith into science and what other scientific people have done before you. But the one thing that they're looking for you and me to give them as Christians, to see if this makes any difference, is hope. They're trying to say, do you guys really believe that there's hope? And today we say yes. Why? Because in the middle of the darkness of Lent, we change the color so the church reminds you to have hope. Why rose, Father Barnabas? All right, well, imagine this. Let's say you're in the middle of the night, and it's a long, cold night, and you're just waiting for the night to be over. What's the first color over the horizon that you're eagerly watching to see? The first crack of the sun coming over the horizon is pink, or rose, more accurately. And this is the color of waiting for the sun to rise. And I know that some of you are waiting for the Lord Jesus just to rise in your own darkness. And I tell you today, wait for the rose. How, Father Barnabas? How? I think that our first reading is a good reminder. Stop playing the games of how we see and start seeing how God sees. What does that mean? I love the line from our first reading where it says, God does not see as man sees. Man sees the appearance, but God looks into the heart. He looks into the heart. He sees you and I better than we see ourselves. And yet we're still tempted to play the games of, let me go to Mass and do my thing, but then I'll still try to, like, be what the world and what everyone's telling me I should be. It's exhausting. Why is it exhausting? How? How do we see wrongly? How do we need healed? Well, for those of you going to optometry school, there's 4 different kind of main ways that people have visual difficulties. And I think we can apply that to how, as a priest, I see people have spiritual difficulties, how we see wrongly, not how God sees. One of them is people are nearsighted. What's that mean? It means they can only see what's right in front of them. They have a hard time seeing what's far beyond. Spiritually, I think this means some of us are too focused just on the anxieties and the worries of right now. If only I can make it to the weekend, then we'll be fine. If I can just make it to graduation, I'll be fine. If that person texts me back, I'll be fine. Just like need to accomplish what I need to right now. You know, I'll tell you, I've learned the hard way that when we're so focused just on right now, and we forget about what's to come, like heaven, and that the Lord has a plan that's, maybe He's in charge of everything. He calls us to see more, to have more, so that we can let go of just right now. Trust that nothing in the moment will be perfect, and yet we're made for perfection in heaven. Number 2, we're farsighted sometimes. What's farsighted? It means you can only see what's ahead, and you can't really have any focus on what's right in front of you. I had this whenever I was trying to join the monastery, and I've told this story a couple times, but I was so distracted on how's everything going to turn out. Some of you seniors are so worried about how's the next 50 years of my life going to turn out? I like to tell seniors this piece of advice. Just graduate. And then things will seem more clear. I think that one example of trying to pay attention to the things that are right in front of you is this good rule of thumb for life. You listen to me? Tell the people that you love them. Because that's the biggest thing that I see people kind of get woken up when they're farsighted. They're so focused on the next thing and how life will be better. And then we, don't realize and even lose someone that we love. You should tell the people that you love them. Don't assume that they know. Oh yeah, they know. Tell them, hey, this silly priest told me I should tell the people that I love them. I just want to say I love you. Even if it's awkward. Me and my brother sometimes are on the phone. Be like, all right, yeah, I'll see you later, man. I love you. Okay, I love you, bye. And then I hang up the phone. Tell the people that you love them. Don't be farsighted. See who's in front of you. The third one is called astigmatism. Astigmatism is basically just your eye is shaped wrong and everything's blurry. I like to say we have wounds and things that we've been malformed in, whatever it is, that everything just seems blurry because we're just kind of in need of being reshaped and reformed. The last one is just weariness and tiredness. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm trying to get myself going right now, but I'm a little weary, a little tired. I need a break from spring break. And often our eyes, when we get older, we need reading glasses because our eyes are just too exhausted. Now, why am I telling you all these things? What's the solution? Well, what is the solution is to put on the lens of love. Whatever you're trying to figure out or see, if you put on the lens of love, it makes everything much more clear. The thing is, though, we can't simply just do it ourselves. Jesus doesn't want to just give you eyeglasses of love. He wants to do something deeper. Just like he did for this blind man, where he spits into the ground, into the earth. And just as if God made from the earth Adam and Eve, Jesus establishes that he is God, takes the earth. He could have just did this, but he says, look, I'm telling you and the whole world who I am. I can make all things new, including how you see, starting with yourself. He puts the clay in his eyes. Jesus wants to do LASIK eye surgery on you. Not just so that we have temporary lenses of love and he makes things a little bit better, but he makes things all new. This is the Christian message. What does that do for you? What do you mean all new? It means that your identity is no longer just in the lies that you think that they're in. The blind man today, whenever they said, hey, are you the guy that Jesus changed his life? What does he say? He goes, I am. You know the only other person in the Bible that says I am is God himself. As if Jesus doesn't just heal him, but imparts some of his own self to Jesus. So this is what I'm telling you today. If you want to start praying well, you can keep asking Jesus for the things you're asking for. But here's the secret ingredient in the spiritual life. After you're done asking him for what you're asking for, whatever it is, ask him for himself. Ask him for himself. How? Say, Jesus, please give me yourself. Jesus, let me know your love. He can't help but do that. I promise you, he wants to give himself to you. May you know his love today and all the days of your life. In the name of the Father, Son,